All right, so I think we're going to talk about the audience first.
Fuck them. Fuck that audience.
Yeah, I think that needs to be broached a little bit.
Now, this is only playing on, like, one screen in town.
And I don't know why.
I kind of don't. Like, quality of the movie aside, it's a mainstream horror release. I mean,
Yeah,
typically
it's no different than the fact that, like, the Sinister movies have been on every screen in town. Like it's no fucking different. Like, we saw The Forest over it.
Yeah.
12
and
last
The Apparition
year.
When that came out, which
yeah,
was, this is playing over at the theater that we usually see like the religious movies at, and like the indie flicks. So it's on one screen. It's a we saw it at a 7:50 p.m. screening on a Friday night. It's Friday the 13th. So because there's not a lot of screens to spread this out at, this theater was packed like it's a Marvel movie, just as packed as when we saw like Rogue One. Thing is, this is a PG-13 horror film, and when you get a group of people together who would rather go pay to see a PG-13 horror film instead of staying home to see a real horror movie on Friday the 13th, you're going to end up with a lot of screamy, shouty preteens.
I was going to say, like, if the cutoff to this was, like, actually PG-13, like, there would have been half the people in there. There were
just
fucking,
a bunch of
like...
screaming 10-years.
Yeah, there were actual children in this screening. Which, I mean, I'm not gonna come... Like, in a way, like, I've seen plenty of movies that I shouldn't have seen before I was old enough to be in the theater. Like, I think, like, when we went to see, like, Crank 2, there was a guy there with, like, a fucking, like, 6-year-old.
There was a kid in the theater when I went to go see History of Violence. Like, better choice to bring the family to than Bye Bye Man, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, I can't sit here and, like, harp on, like, too heavily and be a fucking hypocrite about it, but at the same time, it's like... Fuck me.
I got asked, like, after we saw Sing, because we brought up that audience, because we were sitting in front of a kid who kept kicking our seat at Sing, and so I was getting asked quite a bit about what's the worst audience that I've ever seen a movie with, and at the time, I was like, I don't know, the Sing audience was kind of annoying, but it was really just the kid sitting behind me, and I was like, I don't know.
That you were flying coach for that one, apparently.
Yeah, first class was in a different movie. So I think I can now safely answer that this is easily the worst audience I've ever seen a movie. Never before have I had such little faith in the intelligence of our future, and this is after 2016.
Yeah.
Than sitting here and seeing this movie in which the movie first starts. Not only did the entire theater just keep talking like it's like Maria Menounos is still at the beginning of the trailers.
And now for a first look at some other bullshit TNT show that I'm just not gonna watch.
So they just kept talking. And not only that, this is the kind of... The people in this audience would jump at their own shadow more than the dumbest dog.
I am surprised that they are alive. Like, their hearts must just be a fucking ticking time bomb.
Dude.
They were screaming so loudly, I was covering my ears. Like, it was hurting my ears. It was that bad.
Yeah.
They had to call the police, by the way.
Yeah.
Because of the rowdy Bye Bye Man crowd.
We're parked around the corner from the front here. Otherwise, I'd flip this around to show you. There's, like, 4 or so cop cars here. Like, there's legitimately like 6 cops in there.
It's like we went back
outside the door. Like, they were watching us like we were fucking like Taiwanese protesters. Like, they're like a minute away from getting the fucking water hoses out.
Dude, the Warriors had a less rowdier screening than the one we just sat at. Like,
Jesus Christ, like, the actual meeting of gangs in the Warriors had less of a police presence.
Like, here's the thing. I got up to use the restroom at one point in this movie, and there was a kid coming back into the theater.
He got stopped and frisked.
I wish, because that would have... I wish, because something much stupider happened. The kid ran into the door because he didn't realize that's a thing you should open. And so when I was out in the bathroom, there was a guy at concessions. One of the employees at concessions just goes, "Man, I'm just so sorry you're in there.
I saw him. He moved his mouth. He said, "Help us."
I never said help us!
You know what I love is that the kids next to me, at first there was just two of them and there was a space between. And then one of them goes to me, "Ma'am, is anyone in this seat?" They called me ma'am. Polite enough for a ma'am. As soon as his little fucking turd brother sits there, they're like,
Yeah.
chatting through the whole fucking thing. I'm like, what happened to ma'am now? And they're complaining about other kids talking in the theater as they talk through the whole thing. And they're saying their own comments. Like, they're like, oh, they're gonna get laid now and take off your panties and shit like that. And I'm like, dudes, you don't know anything about sex or boobs or any of this shit.
Or
like, come
movies.
on.
It was. This is the. I've been at movies before that have had bad audiences. Everyone has. This is the first one that I've been to where the audience was so bad that they handed out free passes afterwards. I was in the restroom when they did this, and you came up to me and
Letty and I got stopped by the manager. Like, there were just a crush of people heading through the door out of the theater. And they were all 1.5 feet shorter than I am. So it was easy for her to spot us. And the manager just walks right past this whole crowd of people up to us. Is like, "So, was your guys' viewing experience kind of, how was it?" And Letty's like, "And it wasn't great."
I told you, I was like, you should have said, "Ask me this when I'm done shitting my pants out of fear."
And so she just she starts casually talking like, "Yeah, it was a bit much. Like, we didn't think it was going to be that bad. Just follow me." And so we kind of walk around the corner. We see the blue line there protecting and serving us out of the theater.
Yeah.
And she takes us over to the little door that goes back to wherever their offices are, and comes back out and it's like, "Okay, so there's two of you," and tears off a couple of those free passes. And we're like, "Oh, we were with 3 other people." And she didn't even ask "Oh, well, where are they?" or anything. She's like, "Okay," and just starts tearing off more of them.
I was thinking, I wonder if they just handed these out just to the adults who were in the crowd. What if this whole...
You know what felt really bad about it? The whole time she's explaining and explaining the cops and justifying what's going on and handing us free passes.
Yeah.
All of the other people who are coming out of the theater are still right next to us and trying to get past because traffic had pretty much stopped at that point.
Yeah.
So it's just the white manager handing a couple, nice white people some free passes. It's explaining "We're so sorry, it was such a terrible experience." The crowd in there was just crazy. Well, the crowd is walking past her, and it is just all black kids. I'm like, this doesn't feel fucking awkward.
What if this whole thing was like a con job? It's like a rowdy audience to bring all the cops here, and a bunch of stuff gets robbed because there's no cops around. They're all at the Bye Bye Man theater.
Oh shit!
That's genius.
We were the distraction.
Yeah,
it's the plot of Now You See Me 3.
They've run out of ideas. And here's the thing, though. Throughout all of that, I was never really mad, necessally, because this is a really shitty movie. Yeah, I would be way more mad if this was The Conjuring, or if this happened in Green Room or something.
If it was literally any other movie, if that had happened when we went to go see that screening of Taxi Driver.
Yeah, right?
It's why are you people even here?
Those fucking kids that kept... Never have I... Whenever you hear the joke about the people talking to the screen, it's always a sassy black lady that's don't go in there, no. See, I was that doesn't happen in real life. No, it happens. It happened tonight. I was there. It was all these stupid kids, and there were things happening that are not hard to understand. Okay,
the light would turn on quick. Oh shit.
Oh shit. The thing was messing with their heads, the Bye Bye Man, and they would see things. And this is well established because this is the climax.
Yeah.
And then, oh no, it's making them see something. And then there's a girl in the audience, what's going on? on? What's happening?
What is going on?
You know what's going on.
Lost
Shut
your
up.
mind.
I have heard that the sentence "What is going on?" screamed at a movie before, and it was you during A Million Ways to Die in the West.
Because at that point, I legitimately believed that I had died and I was in hell.
This screening, this audience was so bad. I was almost expecting a mass shooting to happen. It was that fucking bad.
That would have been quieter.
No one would have noticed.
Yeah.
Everyone, every single one, had to put their damn flashlights on to leave the theater, as if all the million ones around them weren't, like, lighting up the place. And they had to shine it in my damn face as I'm trying to leave.
Well, and it's so hard to navigate a straight line to the aisle and then a straight line to the door marked
Yeah.
exit.
Well,
I mean, it's so hard.
Go figure. This audience is at a movie in which one scene the movie dyes its blood black to keep it a PG-13 because God forbid a horror film have blood in it.
When did it dye it black?
When the guy shot the woman with a shotgun in the flashback that was in the middle of the movie, she goes up against the wall. There's barely any blood there to begin with,
didn't
but there's
even
just a
see any blood.
streak of black oil on the wall that's left behind her.
I didn't
Oh,
see it on
no.
the wall. I was wondering where the blood was. I was
I
like,
don't-
this is the most bloodless shotgun shooting I've ever seen.
I don't think that was blood. It was a big crack in the wall. It was like
Yeah,
broken
there was a crack in
plaster.
the wall.
No, it was smeared because like there was like at least like a little like smear print, like
Oh.
maybe a crack, but there was like a bit of a smear print in front of it.
But yeah,
It's not
either
weird,
way,
it's just that, like the victims all had no blood, no wounds. There was just the plaster. I was like,
she
did
was
they-
a scarecrow.
This, from what I understand, this movie was shot as an R, but it was cut down to a PG-13 because, God forbid, these kids have something else to do tonight.
I mean, they
And
wanted
you-
to make sure they could pull as many people as possible.
I think
You can
they
tell
knew
when watching
with-
it.
When you call it the Bye Bye Man, it has to be the most immature audience in the world,
Well, you
right?
can-
Because who is that going to appeal to?
You can tell when watching it because there's a lot of violent shit that happens in the movie, but it cuts away from it every single time.
Yeah.
Awkwardly cuts away from it. And you decided to come along too because up until 2 days ago, you didn't know this was a real movie.
I thought it was just a meme when
Yeah.
people had like the posters and they changed it to like the poo poo pee pee man and
Yeah.
stuff, which by the way was all I was thinking about through the whole thing. They're like, don't say it, don't say it. I'm just thinking pee pee poo poo man.
God.
Which makes it more entertaining than the movie itself, which is just dog shit.
These kids screamed and shit their pants at a movie called The Bye Bye Man. It's like shitting
Holy
your pants
shit.
during oversexed rug suckers from Mars. Like,
Like
Jesus.
It's got
That's a
the
movie.
it's got all of
Yeah.
the jump scares and all of the typical like PG-13 bullshit like that's you see in all these movies nowadays. But like
But at the end
Even
of the
if
day,
you take that
it was
away-
just like it felt like a Final Destination movie.
Yeah,
like
e-
it was no different than what you'd see in that.
even if you
Dude.
take that stuff away and you just look at the monster itself, it blows.
Oh, that
Like,
wasn't a monster. That was the lead character from Beastly.
yeah, it just looked like some dude and his American Werewolf in Paris rejects dog walking
Yeah,
around.
what
It
was
looked
that
like-
shit?
It looked like the same quality CGI you would see in the 90s when that movie
Yeah.
came out.
Yeah, that scene there towards the end, like the climax when they were upstairs, when like it just comes out and just like walks around the room and then
Yeah.
leaves. It's like don't linger on it and show it in good lighting. Like,
Well, you know,
like
when,
this is the worst it could possibly look.
when they did stuff in the beginning, when they say the name and you just see him like in the shadows in the background and stuff, it's like, all right, it's not a jump scare. That could be something creepy.
Yeah, they had
but
a
then
couple
in the
good
middle,
times with that.
yeah, well, except for the audience, like, oh shit! But in the middle of the,
to church on Sunday. I'm still going to church and I'll say, Lord Jesus, help me, Lord. Like, that was shit being said.
and during the middle of the movie, like the beginning part of the movie, they don't show him. It's just in the background. It's like a hood, and you see him kind of in the background. And then in the middle of it, they go back to these '60s flashbacks where the guy, the reporter or whatever he was,
Yeah.
he was
Sweater vest guy.
yeah, sweater vest guy is killing his family and all the people that heard the name, and then they just show the Bye Bye Man. The first time you see him, it's just in a
He's
in a brightly lit room.
yeah, he's standing
He just looks
in the
over.
middle of somebody's living room in
Yeah.
1969 in broad daylight, just
Yeah.
standing there like, hey.
This
It's like,
movie.
maybe you shouldn't have shown so much of the Bye Bye Man. Maybe Bye Bye Man needed to go bye-bye a little bit.
This movie, like, it didn't. Here's what it was reminding me of. Like, less. It was reminding me less Final Destination, even though I totally see that, but more. The Bye Bye Man has the same powers as Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2. Like, this is kind of take away
My
like.
character was just a reject from Book of
Yeah.
Shadows.
Well, meaning like, I mean, take away like the meta stuff and the fact that like a sequel and all of that. Take that away from it. This is kind of the same movie. It's about like this ghostly creature that's altering these people's reality, that's making them turn on each other and see things that are going to make them injure each other or murder or like accuse the other people.
Tries to incriminate them for murder with the police.
Yeah, that happens in this movie. Honestly, I don't think, honestly, I think this movie, if I can have a compliment towards this, I thought it was better than Blair Witch 2, which is maybe why it's a ripoff of that, so you can at least say that nice thing about it.
Should have just framed it around him being interviewed by Carrie Ann Moss, who's in this movie fucking for some reason.
She's in this movie, so
Like
I could
married to a producer or something on this. Like what? Like,
So
how
I
did
could
that
say-
happen? Like,
she was the best part of the movie because it's Carrie Ann Moss. Like when she showed up in the movie, which is maybe an hour into it, I was like, you know, if you completely rewrote this and didn't have it follow around a bunch of dumb college students, but instead is following around cop Carrie Ann Moss investigating this, that would have been a better film.
yeah, a slightly different viewpoint, and this would have been kind of cool.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, yeah, she was still the best part of it. Like she brought her A game to it.
She did. I love Carrie Ann Moss, so the 2-3 scenes she was in, I like.
Even with the haircut and the wardrobe, you could easily just assume like, oh, she's just playing her same character from like Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
Can I ask something? What was supposed to happen if the Bye Bye Man catches them? Because
Apparently, he just taps you on the forehead.
yeah, because like the whole time they're like, okay, to beat him, you have to kill everyone that heard the name and then kill yourself. It's like, okay, but what happens
That
if you
seems
don't?
like he still wins.
Yeah, because he's still trying to get you to kill other people and yourself. So aren't you just doing exactly that?
If you don't, he sequel baits. That's what he does.
Because it's
The worst thing.
Because it seems to like their goal is to like, we got to completely erase him from existence. So I'll scribble like one or two like cross out lines on this piece of paper that's archived with his name on it.
But he
Okay,
doesn't
that's
even scribble out
resolved.
well. You can still read it.
Yeah, he's just like back and forth twice, like there, eliminate him. Like you can still see exactly.
Why didn't you
like,
just
bye-bye,
toss
man.
that nightstand out into the woods?
I thought he was taking it outside to burn it, not just like
that's what I
walks
thought.
outside and just
Did it.
throws it down.
But
like,
then there won't
got
be a
it.
Bye Bye Man 2. That's what this movie is. This movie could be described so fast. It is just these 3 college students move into a house. They find the word "Bye Bye Man" written on a nightstand. The ghost comes and fucks with their reality to where they kill. That's this movie. Is they find a bad word on a nightstand.
Well, and it's not even like it's an escalation of things to a point. It's like
No.
as soon as they're like, oh shit, it's the Bye Bye Man. Within like fucking minutes, they're already seeing the same shit that's gonna like the same level of shit that's gonna follow them the rest of the movie. It's like oh, so he just starts off and he's just got one speed and that's it. And
Yeah.
we don't gradually build to it.
No.
It's not like doing more and more intricate things. It's just no, you're seeing shit and that's it. You're seeing shit.
Within 20 minutes of the movie, the main kid in the film who looks like a 20-year-old Michael Shannon, like eyes all bugging out, and like still within 20 minutes of the movie, he's like fucking tweaking out and shit. And honestly, he's probably like pretty good in other things. I could kind of see that with how crazy he was acting in this.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have seen him in anything else, or if I was just looking at him going, he looks a little like a really young Michael Shannon.
Yeah.
I was just remembering my. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say like yeah, it kind of reminded me of that, or with all like the punk rock shirts and everything, and kind of his general look, like reminding me like it's like he does kind of look a little bit like Anton Yelchin did in Green Room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, like, gee, I wonder if the people who made this are a big Dead Kennedys fan. That had this one more than Big Red was in Monster Trucks.
I was just remembering my favorite audience reaction. If there can be a favorite one. All of them were
There's a lot to
overblown
choose from.
and fucking awful. But there's a part where he's hallucinating like a train, which I guess was a callback to the girl getting hit by a train. And then there's
It's a
like
callback to the end of Blair Witch.
They never really did explain the train thing.
And then there's 3 asses. You just see 3 naked people.
This was when you were.
Oh yeah, you missed the 3
Oh,
asses.
I did?
Yeah, there's a train and then a quick cut to 3 naked people, 3 asses, and the audience like, oh! Like this was terrifying to them. 3
I
asses.
forgot about that.
Thank God, though, I was there in the scene in Monster Trucks where one of you went up to the restroom, and it was in one of the 3 montages of that where the girl's working on the car, but she looks over and the guy's butt crack is hanging out.
Oh yeah.
Looks at the
We didn't even
camera
mention
like,
that in the review. That
I
character
know.
was such a nothing thing.
but looks at the camera like, mm-mm. So at least I got to see that butt crack and that. Bye-bye,
You didn't
man.
see the bye-bye. What did the asses have to do with anything?
I'm not sure. I still don't know.
The train, I
what the-
assume, was a callback.
But he
I don't know
was
what the asses
he
had
was
to
seeing the train before that, and he was seeing the train after that, and
Yeah.
after he died, apparently the train was going through the inside of the house.
Yeah, what did the train
like,
have to... Because they said there were lights in trains and
And
shit.
the same with like those coins. It never explained why they
They
were
never explain any of the lore of the Bye-Bye
coins.
Man.
They also don't explain why.
Because in his previous life, he was a boondock saint.
And I still don't get too like after they're at the end whenever kid like shoots himself and fucking Sam from Battlestar Galactica.
I thought that's who that was,
crying
yeah.
outside. Like it pans back and it shows the whole house and it's just on fire now.
Yeah, why?
I guess the dog set it on fire.
The dog knocked over a candle.
It feels like a lot was cut from this.
You can tell.
A lot that was important to knowing what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
So that girl really should have been like, what's going on? About like the coins or the asses or the train or anything that...
And
would
now
make us
I'm
like-
worried that we're gonna get like, cause I'm sure we're gonna get a Bye-Bye Man 2. Maybe it'll do like what Sinister 2 did, and the entire movie will just be like building the mythos of the Bye-Bye Man.
Well, when I got back in from using the restroom, the audio, I could tell like something happened because the audience was at their most rambunctious. And so I sat down and just went like, I sat down, leaned over to you and went, the fuck did I miss? And you just went, what do you think? A stupid fucking jump scare.
Like it turned, it showed something, everybody. There's a Bye-Bye Man.
I'm sure the movie, like, it'll. Look, I don't know how well this movie will do. Yeah, it was fucking packed in there, but it's only
I'm
on
sure
one
it met
screen in town.
I'm sure it met its budget off that showing.
I hope I hope that if we do get something, it's like the dudes who did like Ouija 2 make like a really good version of this, because this movie is kind of like if there was a sequel to Ouija that the idiots who did the first Ouija did, this is what it would look like.
Because yeah,
Just
it'd be
thinking of the bit where he's driving in the car and then they're playing Bye Bye Love or whatever.
Oh.
He's singing along to that.
yeah.
Stupid.
It's like wow, it's just scoured everything they could to find like what's a song that has bye bye in it.
And when he's Googling, or sorry, searching the search engine, and then he
went to
puts
search.com.
Yeah, search.com, and then he puts in Bye Bye Man and comes up with no results.
No results,
It's the
and
most generic name possible.
no results for something he didn't put quotes around on it. Like, you could put in words that don't exist, and like
Yeah,
500 million results will
I
come
could
up.
sit on the keyboard and
Maybe
still
it wasn't
get
a good search
something.
Yeah,
Maybe search.com really is not a very good
maybe it's not very good. I don't know.
He needs to use something better like web crawler or something.
But it came
Yeah.
up with the one documented evidence of the Bye Bye Man, so it at least
Oh, yeah.
in that way.
Yeah, I like that it didn't get triggered by Bye Bye Man as a keyword, but it got triggered by don't say it, don't think it. Mm-hmm. But it seemed like that must have been taking it out of the article that it was written on, which also mentions the Bye Bye Man by name.
And so did no one ever read that article then? Like someone had
They
to...
said that it wasn't published, but then how did it end up in the search engine?
Yeah, you'd have
Yeah,
to have...
somebody would have had to have keyed it in.
Someone would have
Someone
to have...
had to have put it in that box. He would have had to have, like, potentially ran it past, like, his editor.
Yeah,
his editor to be
exactly.
like, it's like, we can't print this.
Maybe that's one of the many people he killed back in the 60s.
and
but
why-
at least it got archived.
And why did the guy who was so determined to not let people know the name Bye Bye Man carve it into a nightstand? At what point, even before he knew this
then
was a
put down
bad thing,
contact
why would you
paper.
carve it into a nightstand?
And then put down
Yeah.
contact paper and then wrote on it.
Yeah. This makes no sense.
Well, in the same way the kid realized, like, he doesn't, like, it's like you don't say the Bye Bye Man to anybody. And he's sitting there, like, research out on the table. Lady walks up, like, what's you looking at there? Like, oh, just going over some stuff. The Bye Bye Man. It's like, all right. Well, that's the thing.
She might be my favorite character. Sassy librarian who
Whenever-
just murders a bunch of people. Who were they? I don't know. Other librarian people?
Whenever she popped up, I was just picturing in my head she's the same character she played on New Girl when she was scouting the house to see if Winston was fit to be a cop. Like, same character, like, oh, it's a crossover. That's why it wasn't really crystal meth in Jess's nightstand. The Bye Bye Man made them think it was.
I am not familiar with this actress, but I could super tell she was a comedian doing a serious role.
Anytime I've ever seen her in anything, it's a sitcom.
It just made me think, like, like, oh man, this is gonna be like her breakout role, like the sassy black cop in the Urban Legends movies.
Yes.
Ah, that was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that she's only there to save the day and quote the movie Coffee.
You don't push him, motherfucker.
See, if this character had been half as good as that character, it would have made this movie so much better.
This character made me think the first person they asked was maybe Retta.
She said, hell no.
I would be like, which she was in the road chip. Man, this movie is exactly what I fucking thought it would be. It's no better or worse than that, which was also kind of the case with Monster Trucks. It was sort of no better or worse than I thought it would be going in. Difference is, that movie was just kind of forgettable. This movie is an unholy fucking January preteen horror piece of shit.
Kind of like I called whenever we went and saw The Forest last year in January. Pretty sure come December, January next time, we'll be talking about the Bye Bye Man again.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, if you've seen the trailer, you've already seen the highlights of the film to know enough if you're gonna like it or not. And no, you're not gonna like it. And it's just, it's lazy and nonsensical. It doesn't cover any of the stuff that it's setting up for itself. It has the most ineffective villain. Like, the villain is, and then you get mental health problems.
And
But-
sometimes you cough for some reason.
Yeah,
One of them
or
coughs a lot.
or he also gave that girl an upper respiratory infection. Like, he has such weird powers.
She's gonna pull a hair out of her throat like in the trailer for Rings.
But yeah, he has such bizarre powers. Like, oh, you'll see things that aren't there, and
Like,
he's got a dog
why?
that's made out of raw hamburger.
Why?
And
I don't even just. What's
there
this
might be
guy's
trains.
deal?
He's not
Your
even-
house might set on fire. Who knows?
It's not even like a ghost or anything like that. Like, it's just, it's unexplained.
And
What?
when he actually comes face to face with him, he legitimately has no ability to do anything. Like,
Yeah, he just-
he's just like
E.T.
poking
phone
him in the fucking head.
Does this bother you? I'm not touching you.
He
he's
just
trying to-
turned into E.T. That's all he was doing.
Yeah.
E.T. phone
Well,
home.
and he was. I mean, I like Doug Jones and a lot of stuff, but that was just. I mean, he was.
God, that was him.
Yeah,
I didn't realize it was him
Oh,
till the
man.
credits, and I was like, Doug Jones, aw, sad.
I didn't realize till the credits this is based on a book.
What?
Or at least like it said based on
oh
something.
yeah. It said like based on the book or based on the story. The Bridge to Body Island
Maybe it makes more
Slightly
sense
better
in the
title?
story, but it did not make sense here.
It's a confusing as fuck title that no one would have came to, but how is The Bye Bye Man the better option?
Yeah.
Like, we've got two we could go with. Which do you want to go with? Like,
Well, what's going to appeal to dumb preteens
The
more?
Bye Bye
The
Man
Bye Bye
will. I wonder if it's those memes, which are funny, like Pee Pee Poo Poo Man, is what churned this audience out to go see this fucking movie.
Maybe they were laughing at it a lot.
But
they
they
were
were also
screaming that they were laughing.
they were also genuinely shitting their pants at every jump scare in this fucking. Why is it that horror, by and large, it's the worst of it that gets released nationally? Meanwhile, a lot of the best ones I see, I mean, there's a lot that I do see in the theater, but a lot of the best ones I see are the ones you have to seek out on your own.
oh yeah, like it might do a limited engagement in like some cities, or like they'll do like a one night thing somewhere. But yeah, usually it's like, I guess I'll just wait like 6 more months till I can find this somewhere.
Uh-huh. Look, of course this movie's bad. It is a January PG-13 wide release horror film. It sucks. It sucks so much ass.
It's called The fucking Bye Bye Man.
Exactly.
What did anyone think it was gonna be?
It's made for scathing reviews that do puns on bye-bye.
Yeah.
That's all it's good for.
The only way that I would possibly say to see this fucking thing is if it's one of those nights where me and you are hanging out and we're looking for the worst shit to watch on Netflix. Like the same night we come across Ouija Experiment.
Yeah, well, but that's my thing, is that Ouija Experiment, terrible. We
Yeah.
have talked about it a lot. We've done so much free press for these people. We should get a starring role in the next one, but it's god awful. But you know what? It went, like, I don't know that it went anywhere except for like their table at a convention and then Netflix.
Uh-huh.
That's where this one should have gone.
Yeah.
Like, there should have been a guy dressed like the fucking Bye Bye Man walking around handing out fucking buttons, and like somebody like with like the animatronic dog head, like, that's cool, walking around behind him. And then you go to like conference room C at 5 o'clock and they do a showing of it, and then you never hear about it again until like one day you're in a fucking family video that hasn't closed and you see it on the shelf and you're like, have I? Oh fuck, that's not, yeah. That's where this thing should have gone, not a goddamn theater.
Exactly. Right? That is, yep, that's this movie. I cannot possibly put it any better. I'm not even going to attempt putting it better than that.
Although I will say, if they come out with any more of these, I want pun-based titles. I want like this sequel to be called like Kiss Kiss Bye Bye Man, or
Yeah.
Long Kiss Goodbye Bye Man. I want something equally terrible.
The bi-curious man.
Bye-bye Centennial Man.
Yes.
Yes. Oh yeah, he's a robot in the next one.
It would make more fucking sense.
It couldn't make any less.
Any final thoughts on it?
No, you summed it up pretty well.
Yeah.
I think Brian's summary is the best you could ever do for this.
I don't know what's coming out next week. It'll be more watchable than this thing in terms of the movie and the audience. So, see you then.